Hey guys, got another video here for you. It's about winterizing your bees. I'm getting ready to close up our hives for the season. So what I'm going to do this year, it's a little bit different from last year, is if you remember, I took some screen and stapled it along the board right here. And what I was able to do, or what I did with that was, with putting the screen on here, I was able to fill it with pine shavings, and then the pine shavings allowed for a nice, thick, insulated bedding. So this year, the difference is, instead of stapling it here, I'm going to, or I stapled it on the inside of this box, kind of like a tub insert. And this way, the wood will have a nice, flat, flush surface to sit on. And I do reuse these sometimes during the season, so it's a pain in the butt to have to pull out every single staple that doesn't allow this to sit flush. So we have that. And the other thing I'm doing this year for feeding is we're going to do some inside hive feeding. These are the frame boxes that come with them, but these are the feeders here. They sell these at our local bee supply store. The difference between this one and a lot of the other ones you see, well, there's a few other ones you see. You see a blown molded one, the plastic molded one. You see one that's made out of wood. And you see the blue plastic ones. It's a clear chamber on top with a blue plastic piece on the inside. Only problem with that stuff is it all uses hydrodynamics for a vacuum. And if for some reason your hive settles just a little bit canted, it will just all leak out. Number two problem is if you don't put the reservoir right on the top and not rotate it. For those of you who own one, you know what I'm talking about, but you have to rotate it because there are spaces that don't allow, or that allow the reservoir to fill up, and when you rotate it, there are like blocks that don't allow the bees to get into the reservoir, and then resulting in your drowning bees. And it's a few times I've been an idiot and I forgot to rotate that after it's filled up, and I'm coming out to, 50 to 100 dead bees. So, but anyways, this year what I'm going to do is put this on the inside of the hive. I'm not really worried about moisture problems because when I fill these mediums with pine shavings, those pine shavings are going to help wick up the moisture and also help insulate and stop a heavy draft throughout the hive. But then during the heavy winter months, when no matter what I put in here, it's going to freeze, and I start putting pollen patties and sugar cakes in here, there's little screws here that I'm going to take out. And what that does is that allows the bees to now come up through these. There's little slots in here. You can see the screening on the bottom one here. Slots in here, and allow the bees to kind of come up, eat the pollen patties, eat the sugar, and this way I can see which ones they might be eating more. I can fill up as I go. The best part is in the winter months, sometimes I might have to get in there to see if they need more sugar. Problem is when you go to lift up, let's say that this is actually the box right here. When you go to lift up this box, you've now let out all that heat that those bees are working really, really hard to generate to keep themselves alive. So what I'm doing with this is going to sit on top of an extra box. And when I lift up the insulated box, the box that's going to have the pine shavings in it, that's going to be sitting on top of the box that's holding this. When I lift this up, now you're only going to have 4 little holes that's going to allow heat to come out of, and instead of this just huge big plume of heat escape. Hopefully that will help the bees survive even longer. Now the problem with our bees this year is our bees just did not make a lot of honey, and there's a risk of one of our hives not surviving this year. So if this system works between this and what I did last year with wrapping the hives with bubble wrap and then wrapping that bubble wrap with black plastic, if this small hive survives in our harsh Ohio winters, then this is going to be a proven system that I'm going to use from the years on out. And that's it. So this here, we get this from Queen Wright Colonies. They're down in Spencer, Ohio. We take a small drive down there. It's about 45 minutes, and then we head to my parents. But we get that and this box for $22. And you can build the box, that's fine. But, I mean, this right here is $13. And, you know, for just another $10, I can get a nice pre-built box that I just have to paint. So, but that's it. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Give me a thumbs up if you like it, and please leave your comments below.